Philadelphia's final injury report before their rematch with Big Blue turned out to be worse than I thought, as key Eagles at every level are officially out, putting the Birds' 6th win in the hands of Devonta Smith and Jahan Dotson. Plus, why Jaxson and Kelee Ringo are going to have to step up on Sunday, Saquon Barkley can finally get going versus former team, while the Giants are already preparing their quarterback for his first trip to the link. I'm Thomas Mott, this is the Thomas Mott Show. Well, it's Kelly Green week, which in the past has guaranteed an Eagles win each of the first 4 times they've donned the throwbacks, but this game on Sunday is going to be a little tricky, as the Eagles' final injury report following their Friday practice was worse than I had hoped, with tons of key injuries at every major position. But it's not much better for the boys in blue if that gives you any confidence. First, though, as we do every single week the day before a game, I'm going to pick one subscriber who likes this video and also correctly predicts down below the final touchdown score to win yet another Jordan Spector Jalen Hurts art piece, the one you see on your screen right here. So take your guesses. If they win, I'll pick the winner live on the stream tomorrow. Also, the winner of the first Jordan Spector art piece plus the Game Changers gift card is announced at the end of today's video, so stay tuned to see if you won. Now, straight to the injury report. Here we go. Final one dropped on Friday afternoon, and basically everybody's out who we thought had a shot of playing, including A.J. Brown, Adoree Jackson, Jurgens, Azeez Ojulari, Jakorian Bennett, and yes, Brandon Graham. So when I said everybody, I mean literally everybody is out. And honestly, I think this is less to do with the severity of the injuries and more with the fact that the bye week is the game following the Giants on Sunday. The theory is, if you're banged up right now, let's say A.J. Brown's hamstring, 60%, give him an extra week to get healthy, fully heal up, and then go play the Packers 3 Sundays from today. Still though, losing A.J. Brown, for example, is definitely a major blow. Not going to sugarcoat it. He's come alive the past 2 weeks and had an incredible game just a week ago versus the Vikings. The good news, however, is that at least at wide receiver, Hy Roseman has planned for this for a very long time. Devonta Smith, he'll be wide receiver 1. Jahan Dotson goes to 2, and then likely John Mechie or Darius Cooper. Philadelphia obviously still has a very legit receiving threat on the outside. I'm thinking Devonta Smith goes absolutely crazy on Sunday, and he just came off a career-high game versus the #1 secondary in the NFL at the time in Minnesota. Plus, Dallas Goedert, what do you have, 11 targets in their first matchup versus the Giants? Those two must come up big, and I think they will on Sunday.
We have to adjust. If that's the case that he's not out there, we have to adjust and have to everyone's going to have to study a little harder. Guys are going to be moving around in different spots and things.
What should also help is the fact that Giants starting cornerback Paulson Adebo is likely out as well, along with safety Javon Holland. The Giants secondary is likewise not healthy either. Plus, edge rusher Brian Burns, he says he's going to play, although he did not practice again on Friday. That's every day this week. As I said to start the show, everybody's hurt. And here's the deal quickly on the Giant defense that really gave Philadelphia a lot of trouble 2 weeks ago. They just gave up 30-plus points in the 4th quarter to Bo Nix less than 7 days ago. I think the secondary banged up, plus, maybe Brian Burns not 100%. Hopefully Jalen Hurts can pick this defense apart. Oh, and quickly on A.J. Brown here, I've seen some people saying that he's faking the injury or he's trying to get traded, and I think that's completely wrong. He clearly got hurt on the final pass play, that deep ball that sealed it versus the Vikings. You can clearly see him pulling up here and then going down quickly. My guess is the hamstring has bothered him all season long, and now it's officially too bad to the point that he needs to sit out for a couple of weeks. Moving on, and of course, throwing the football, you must protect up front, and no Jurgens means game number 2 for Brett Toth, who will start and have his hands full with the vaunted Giant defensive line. Honestly, I like Toth. He wasn't great last week. They must scheme proper plays to give him extra help, especially against Dexter Lawrence. What's more surprising, though, is not A.J. Brown or Jurgens or Azeez Ojulari. We expected them to go ahead and be out. It's the fact that Jakorian Bennett and Brandon Graham, they practiced all week long, yet neither of them will go ahead and play. I mean, Jakorian, again, a full participant, and he has not been able to showcase his abilities, and we're just before the trade deadline. This feels like a lose-lose. Plus, that means Kelee Ringo, no offense, but it's true, will get a second chance to hopefully not be shredded by Wan'Dale Robinson like he was the last time they played. And on the BG front, I totally get it, resting him. I mean, he hadn't played football in a very long time, but man, I was pumped to see him run out of that tunnel in Kelly Green. Philadelphia also, without BG, will only have 3 healthy edge rushers on Sunday, so Jaxson, everyone else, Josh Uche, make sure you have your sea legs underneath you. They're going to be winded after this one.
I got to protect myself from me because I feel like I can I feel like I could have came the first day, but that's just not realistic. But honestly, it was a great week for both parties, like for them seeing me and seeing that I could still go out, and then even for myself checking that box like, okay, Like this won't be bad at all. It's just about just making sure that when that time do come, when the adrenaline going and you're getting in that game shape. But I like how they gonna ramp me up.
I think a lot of Eagle fans were expecting the second time we played the Giants to be much easier than the first. Kind of got shocked, as we'll talk about, by Cam Skattebo and Jaxson Dart. But this injury report has made it a lot harder. Philadelphia is going to have to play 4 quarters of football and make sure they don't let one of these easy wins against a 2-win football team just slide into the loss column and make Philadelphia not 6-2, but in fact 5-3. These injuries, hopefully though, make sure Philadelphia is ready for whatever the Giants throw at them come Sunday afternoon. Oh, and by the way, if you're going to the game, make sure you give Jaxson Dart some extra hell from me and the entire Thomas Mott show. As a report on Friday said, quote, multiple Giants players have been advising Jaxson Dart to help him handle the hostility he'll face from the Eagle fans at the link for the first time. Just kind of stay as tight as one group because the team and that fan base, they're going to get a little gritty on the sidelines. Focus on you, focus on the team, and stick together and not worry about the outside noise. With Darius Slayton adding, if he didn't have any haters, he's about to find where they all live. If I was the Giants, I would not have said that we publicly told Jaxson Dart to be afraid of Eagle fans. That's extra fuel. But, I mean, hey, what are you going to do? Welcome to Lincoln Financial Field on Kelee Green Day, Jaxson Dart. I hope you're ready for a lot of hate, friendly hate, but a lot of noise as well. Now, all the injuries aside, let's go to the actual game on Sunday, and 2 really simple things actually stand out. One is just how shocked Philadelphia looked and really was when they played the Giants just 2 weeks ago. They were not prepared for how physical the offensive unit with Cam Skattebo really would be, plus just how impressive Jaxson Dart was, despite, of course, being a rookie quarterback. And that's not an excuse, but it definitely is true. I mean, just listen to the Eagles the entire week, really, explain how impressed and fiery and physical the Giants were in that first matchup, really, a couple of days ago.
He's an athletic quarterback who can make plays with his legs, and he did a good job of that when we played him the first time, obviously. And their run game was really good against us. So being able to stop that, and try to contain the quarterback as much as we can.
Very frustrating. It's just especially when you feel like you could have eliminated mistakes and you had a better chance. Not saying that they had a lot of juice, they had great things going for them, and I think they found something in their QB and their running back. But at the end of the day, it's more about how we attack and how we get out there and how we're ready to play. You can make all types of excuses, but at the end of the day, you got to go out there and execute, and we didn't execute it last time.
Teams that need quarterbacks that bypass them, they're going to regret that. Obviously, very athletic, an elite scrambler. I think their coaches have done a great job with him. They've developed the offense around him, throws the ball very well, intermediate and deep, and he's a good player.
I think simply being more prepared the second time around should dramatically help the defense be ready for Dart and Cam Skattebo. I mean, last week, we saw the Broncos basically do the same thing. They got punched in the mouth, surprised, if you will, for 3 quarters, and then finally figured out Dable's guys and took it to them in the 4th quarter. Mainly because this is a impressive football team, it's also a fiery football team, but in the end, this is still only a 2-win Giant team heading into Week 7.
I mean, they got a really good team. And they've been in all of their games that they've played, and so they've got a definite spark. They got a definite drive upon themselves. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I see. And then obviously as a defense, the front 7 is playing at a very high level. They're disruptive towards the passer. And then the defensive backs are sticky in coverage. And so we got to be very disciplined in what we do. Got a lot of respect for this team and just take advantage of our opportunities when they come.
Staying with Hurts for a second and the offense, I know Philadelphia only put up 17 points when they played the first time around, but we all forget that early miss to Devonta Smith that could have completely changed the game. Plus, maybe more importantly, this was Saquon's best first quarter of any game he had played all year, with both of his 2 longest rushes, 18 yards, coming against the Giants defense. And we did say this the last time around, but it still sits as the 29th worst run defense in the entire NFL. Maybe something finally gives this week? And I know we keep saying this every single week, that this is finally going to be Saquon Barkley's breakout moment, but at least in terms of Barkley externally, he doesn't sound too worried about whether or not he finally gets his numbers on Sunday.
Teams are doing a great job. We could do a better job executing, but I try my best not to get too caught up into the numbers of the thing. I just stay with my process and make sure I'm detailed out and in the right position and try to make plays when they come.
One thing that will help Saquon Barkley, besides the fact it's the 29th ranked run defense in the New York Giants, is the fact that Kevin Patullo finally figured out last week how to run under center and under center play action passes. And everyone, including myself, has made a huge deal about how much more Kevin Patullo called the under center game to great success versus the Vikings. And whether or not that was a one-off thing or Philadelphia has actually figured something out, Barkley did admit on Friday he does love running from under center just for the improved vision alone.
You can get downhill quicker. Kind of could see the field a little bit better, to be honest. But I've done in shotgun, in college. I never was under center. And then when you get to NFL, you learn how to run the ball under center. So I don't really prefer one or the other. But I would say that's like the biggest way. You can get downhill quicker, and you just could see the field a little bit more.
Oh, and don't forget about Jalen Hurts running the football as well, as Bo Nix last week had 5 carries late in that comeback win in the fourth quarter for 48 yards and 2 touchdowns. This defense, obviously deadly up front. They have great pass rushers, but very much lacking in the back half. Jalen has not used his legs much this year, but if he does, I think Sunday could be a very key factor to slow down the pass rush, get some yards on the ground, and then eventually set up the play action pass. Finally, let's just admit, revenge is something that we as fans don't really think of much in the NFL because usually teams have so much time in between rematches that by the time you face a team you played in week 1, they're completely different by week 12 or 13 or even in the playoffs. But Philadelphia literally just got punched in the mouth 2 weeks ago by this exact same Giants team. And that is not lost on them, and the motivation to not let that happen again, I would say, is very strong. Jordan Mailata, for example, pointed out that was his worst game ever, his words, as a pro, and he's eager to get back at them this time on Sunday.
Everyone's excited. For me, it's, I'm just feel like I played my worst game of my career 2 weeks ago, and, I wasn't happy with that. And so for me, it's just gonna, just go out there and do my job, do a better job than I did last time. Kind of was passive, very passive. So, yeah.
What did you learn from facing that front the first time?
Can't be passive.
That's it?
Yeah, pretty much that was it.
I fully expect Philadelphia to jump out of the gates firing this time around. I know the offense played well, but the defense got punched in the mouth from that first drive, and they never recovered. And I think that's going to be the biggest difference. Second time around versus the Giants, you know what's coming. You know what to expect. You know you got to buckle your chin strap against Kim Scadaboo. You got to spy Jaxson Dart. They hardly did that the first time around. I'm expecting Philadelphia to win, and I said so as much to Josh Davis whenever we talked earlier this week previewing the game. I think that there's a real chance that they are going to start to figure out the running game. The running game is not dead. Saquon will go for 100 yards at some point this year. I'm sure he's frustrated. He's handling it extremely well, but he's not getting help up front, and that's my big problem. I'm not saying that it's all offensive line blocking, but it's definitely not all Kevin Patullo calling bad plays, because I think especially on Sunday, as you just mentioned, there was some more variety. There was some outside zone runs. For weeks we've been calling for that, and they did do that, and it's not hitting on it. What I do know is that Saquon Barkley is the exact same player he was last year. There is no difference in his speed and his burst and his jump and his ability. The times he's been given holes, the first couple runs of the Giants game, he's hit them. Like the times he's gotten the holes, he's been able to just, it's right there. The holes are just so darn few and far between that what are you going to do? It's just crazy how little running room he has had. And the second that is fixed, Philadelphia's going to have a massive offensive onslaught led by Saquon Barkley.
It's going to be just such a breath of fresh air to finally, it's kind of in a way, I don't know what's like hindsight being 2020. There's that element to it and recency bias. So I feel like I know 100% the answer here but like what's crazier, not scoring in the first quarter for 9 weeks, right? Because that's happened last year, or up to this point through 7 weeks, Saquon Barkley's not run for over 100 yards. I think recency bias is Saquon.
Right.
But with this offense, right? I mean, like we were saying it every single week. It was like, how is this possible? How is this possible? You cannot script a game plan to march down the field and score. Like, how does that not happen?
I don't know.
Yet it did. So I don't know if this is our 2024 version of slow starts. We'll all take it because if it ends well, then we're fine. But yeah, it's ridiculous the fact that it's taking this long. And yes, to the play calling, very cautiously optimistic, but it's been better with Kevin Patullo. And it was 10 of the 18 Saquon carries that were either outside zone or outside tosses. So for people that are like, oh my gosh, the inside zone, just spam it like crazy. It was early, but it was more than 50% of outside play calls, zone and everything else
Right.
that we wanted to see, and which was like 4.3 yards a carry, and it was a little better. But Brett Toth, and I mentioned this on the live stream and a couple other times, but Brett Toth has just completely butchered it. It's not on one player. It's not just on him, but man,
It's not.
it was
It's
bad
not.
watching it from him, especially whenever he got in. The difference of Cam Jurgens being in there versus whenever Toth was. But yeah, they got to get answers. It's surely a matter of time. I keep taking that bet. I'm a sucker for it, I'm sure. But
I've done it every
Saquon
single week.
over on the yards. It's just
Every week.
one of them that I'll throw out there because it has to happen. And at this point, I got
yes.
so much equity in stake at it. It's like,
That's right.
I can't miss out on it when it does happen. So you just got to go ahead and
I know. I feel
double
the same
down.
way.
It's just every single
feel the
time.
same way.
So maybe this
And
week.
Maybe there's a blessing in disguise here that Saquon is having less touches and less yards, meaning less wear on the tires, and then he just explodes in the postseason.
Sure,
and goes
yeah.
crazy, which
We would take
didn't
that.
really matter last year because he still exploded, even though he ran for a bunch of yards. But
It's fair. Yes.
Yeah, I think they're going to figure it out. I wanted to ask you, which first off, do we have any super chats before I ask you a question?
We've actually got
can knock
several.
those
I've been
out.
delayed on, so you
Okay,
want me to
go
run
ahead.
through those?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Knock 'em out. Knock 'em
Corey
out.
with a 10. Appreciate that real quick. Just absolutely love keeping up with the Eagles news. Thanks to you guys. Thank you for that, Corey. Thanks for
appreciate
all the
that.
hard work. Both of you guys. Go Birds.
Go
Means a lot.
Birds. We appreciate
time.
that. It's not the hardest work, but we do put a lot of effort, I would say, into our channels. And we appreciate, obviously, with views and subscribers and stuff, like that's how you guys show that you like the shows. But we appreciate the comments as well, because we do work very hard to make these shows as interesting as possible, I would say, but also something that we ourselves would want to watch. That's what I always tell people. It's like, why did you start this channel? Because I felt like nothing like it existed. Like there was no quick news update. That was no BS and all what was going on. And so we built that, and we appreciate you guys watching it, and we appreciate the shout out for the hard work, because it was a lot of hard work, and now it still is hard work, but it's a lot of fun.
Is it me, or is Jalen not running like last year? Are they trying to make him a pocket quarterback?
I don't know. They keep asking him this in press conferences, Josh. You know, I watch those for our shows religiously, and like every single time there's a press member asking, are they going to start running you more? They ask KP, what about running more? The answer has been they are calling RPOs. So they're calling plays where Jalen has the option to read properly and run the football, and he's choosing not to, right? That's kind of the excuse. Now, Patulo's like Sirianni. You get a lot of words and not a lot of substance. You wish Vic Fangio could answer the offensive questions, but that's neither here nor there. I would like some more design quarterback runs, but I do think there is this thought in the back of their head every single year after the midway point of the season, Jalen Hurts is getting hurt on a run. Right, you go back to the Bears game, he's running with the football and gets hit.
Yeah.
You go to the Commander game, he's running with the football and gets hit. He's never been a guy who gets hurt for the long term, knock on wood, but he has been a guy that will run and then take an unnecessary hit. And it's more like not even a necessary hit. He was sliding against the Commanders and got speared in the back and, whatever. But I think that that's part of it. Now, I think you still need to make teams and make defenses honest by running Jalen a little bit more than they are right now. And maybe that helps if you get a little back into the RPO game, hit a couple of quarterback runs, and then maybe you get a defense to freeze for a second, and you do give it to Saquon Barkley so he can break a run out. I don't know. I do think you can add a little bit more in there, but I get why they would be a little bit more cautious because of the history of him running out of the pocket, taking a shot, and then he's done for a couple of weeks, and they don't want to have that happen, plus a worse injury, and then be without their quarterback one for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and like you said, Jalen himself has mentioned multiple times, it's not up to him. Like, it's not his decision to go, I don't want to run the football. It's just, this is kind of how it's played out. Now, yes, on the options part, it is his call and his decision. But in terms of, we saw even a lot more like literal just designed quarterback runs in the past, and we haven't seen those. So it's a fair point. I mean, you haven't needed to use it yet. So, if nothing else, I mean, Damon's it's totally a fair question and a fair point.
Right.
You keep in your back pocket for later because teams aren't expecting. They're like, oh, hey, Jalen's not running as much this year. Save it all the way till the playoffs, maybe. And then I was like, what the heck? Oh, I love it, but we haven't seen it all year. And maybe you just use it for those games. So I wouldn't mind it then. But score prediction for the Giants game, have you thought that far yet? Are we going?
Yeah. Do they get to 30? You'd like to think. I think it's still going to be tough. I just think that they win. I feel like vengeance is going to be a real key word here. Revenge is going to be extremely important to them. Joe Carter mentioned it a couple weeks ago. So I'm going to go I'll go 27-20. I think that sounds fine. I like it to be 27-17, but I'll go 27-20. I respect Jaxson Dart, Cam Scadaboo, and that defensive line. I really do. Now, of course, myself and Josh Davis will call the game live as we usually do, so come hang out. We have a bunch of fun. Thousands of you guys go ahead and watch. But it is the end of today's show, and that means time to announce the winners. First off, of the Jordan Spector Art Jalen Hurts giveaway. That was a commenter who subscribed and commented BG a couple of days ago. Espo Zeter, ESPO Zeter. That's linked down below. Send me an email, prove it's you. And then finally, we'll see if the person actually claims the Game Changers $50 gift card. That was at Tim Harnish 6895. So both those guys are down below in my description box. Prove it's you. Send me an email. Watch out for scammers. You got to email me. I'll confirm it's you and then get it sent out. So let me know down below. Let's see if they win. Drop your score predictions. I think Philadelphia's going to be able to do it. I hope that they can. This would be critical to getting to 6-2 and reclaim the top of the NFC and gaining more ground in the NFC East. I'm Thomas Mott. We'll see you guys tomorrow on the live stream. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.